When I start shooting, all y'all gonna clear out.
Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today I want to do a little bit of a news update before we, one, get to the release of Marizu, and two, get to the final tournament of the Tekken World Tour, which is TGU, that is Tiger Uppercut. For those of you who don't know, Marizu will be releasing in literally a couple of days. We are about 5 away by the time you're watching this video. She will release in early access December the 1st. The full release is December the 4th. I am expecting them to release gameplay. You know how like they have the embargo, then you have IGN upload their video and things like that. That should be happening in a couple of days as well. But then also we have confirmation from Nakatsu on Twitter that they will be doing another battle pass for Marizu as well. So once all that information is out there, I'll make a future video. You guys can follow, subscribe, stay tuned. I will definitely cover that. But as for the massive news article that hit Twitter yesterday and as a result echoed across all of the Tekken landscape, it was this one here. This is a news article that comes from VGC. Now this is sourcing the business game show. But I'll read the headline. Tekken series producer Harada says he's quite interested in Capcom's decision to charge fans to stream the upcoming Street Fighter 6 tournament finals. A lot of influencers making big money off of their streams, Harada said. Now this got a lot of people angry. As you can see, it has only 500 likes and almost 1 million views. That means a lot of people seen this, but no one agrees with it. Now what we discovered a little bit after is that this news article is one, clickbait, and two, it's just horribly ripping what Harada said out of context. And I think the best tweet to summarize what the actual message here comes from Roman Jelly. He says, I want to apologize for falling for the clickbait title. Harada did mention that it's interesting other companies like Capcom is pursuing the pay-per-view event avenue, but he made no mention for it in the TWT finals. Quick interjection, I want to add this update into this update video. Harada responded to this actual interview and says the interview that this article is based on is probably this one at the link, right? And the answer to that is yes. I never said a single word about wanting to turn it into a paid content. I only said I wonder or interest how it could be achieved. In the first place, I am not even positive about monetization. The context and interpretation may have been created by the article by judging from the flow of the conversation. You would have to interpret it extremely negatively to think I was trying to make streaming paid. In any case, it is unlikely that it will be monetized, and in fact, the operation of streaming at TWT has never fallen within the scope of our business since the very beginning. Because the prize money is involved, these activities have been excluded from the scope of our Japanese corporation entity. Harada also says it's really frustrating how these days media and people tend to deliberately stir up controversy and interpret things in the worst way possible. He goes on to talk about how there's countless times where even Japanese news articles purposely try to take shots at Tekken, and it sucks that people do that. This is why when I make a mistake or I report something that's false, I try my best to correct the record, because I know how it is when people are saying stuff about you, about what you're doing, and it's not true, and all you could do is just sit there and be like, everyone's believing this garbage. I didn't say none of that. I didn't do none of that. It really is a shame what VGC did. They intentionally tried to cause chaos. Their news article is still up unedited. Shame on those guys. Yasuda Esports responds to all of this. This is the guy who kind of operates within the esports side of Tekken. The key goal of the TWT is to make the community sustainable, not to commercialize it. That's why the finals would never become a pay-per-view event. We have never proposed, discussed, or even considered such idea. I've been present for all Harada-san's interviews, and I've never heard him say anything of this sort. You can simply claim something that has never been complicated. It's genuinely disappointing to see notions that so far removed from our vision become a topic of discussion. Something else that I wanted to mention as well, for those of you who do not have Tekken 8, or for those of you who want the premium collector's edition, currently right now it's on sale, the PS5 version, for $30. You could go to the Bandai Namco store and purchase it. I know a lot of people may not be interested with the current state of Tekken 8 balancing, but I still thought I should mention it for those who may be. As for Virtua Fighter 6, a lot of people ask me, will I cover Virtua Fighter 6? Will I document the game and play the game? Yes, I will. And the latest news that we have for this game is this quote here, which I personally see as a jab at Tekken. Tekken and also some of the other fighting games, but most noticeably Tekken. It says interrupting gameplay for visual flair is unacceptable for a fighting game. New Virtua Fighter project producer talks about the title's pursuit of reality, not realism. The reason why this is super interesting is because Tekken has been, kind of going for these wow factor moments. I mean, we see Fakamram where he breaks your guard and he leaves you in this whole like cinematic cutscene. We see with the Clive stage where you blow the wall up and then that Phoenix comes and then it's like a whole 5-second cutscene. We see Rage Art specifically in Tekken 8. The average rage art duration is 45% longer compared to Tekken 7. Here's a breakdown of exactly how different the rage arts are in Tekken 8, and you can just see how Tekken 8 is kind of just drawing out the matches with these long rage arts, long keep smashes, long animations like cutscenes or hit effects or stuff like that, and players kind of don't like it because it's ruined the pacing just a little bit. So if they can scale that back as more time goes on, we know they're rearranging some heat smashes and whatnot. The ones that take a long time, can they adjust that? It will be fine. But the fact that Virtua Fighter is taking a jab at them once again for this, you can see how they're once again trying to play into this idea like the Tekken players are upset. Come over here, guys. We got the game that you want. Grounded martial arts, no flash, no flare, now they're saying no pauses in the gameplay. Virtua Fighter 6 has a lot of potential, but I also know there's some people who's worried about the lack of information, lack of trailers. It's been a couple of months since we've seen Wolf. That game is expected to release like around next year or so, maybe later. If it is later, that's going to be like a real shocker, but hopefully their release is very successful and they find an audience, because I most personally think that Tekken needs the competition. And also I would love to get back into that game and play it and find a new main character there. Now, as for Arslan Ash, he is responding to a little bit of the backlash or a little bit of the conspiracy that was circling his defeat at the tournament Emirates Showdown. Those of you who know, Atif beat him and beat him so well to where some people were saying that Arslan Ash threw the match so Atif can have a better placement on the leaderboard, securing his spot in the top 4. Here's what the top 4 looks like. You can see 3 Pakistani players. We have one more tournament to go, TGU. If that tournament maps out perfectly for Pakistan, all 3 of these guys will make their way past the group section and they'll be safe for the finals, as well as Mulgold. So that's why people were saying that he did it. And on Twitter, he gave kind of an indirect response to that by saying, at the top level, everyone is your opponent. Friendship is outside the bracket. Inside, it's all competition. The higher you climb, the more you understand one thing. Most people around you are your competitors pretending to be friends, not because they're bad people, but because everyone wants the same trophy. Also, your biggest rival are the same people you practice with. They'll help you before the match and still hope you lose because it opens their path. That's competition. That's the life we choose. So that's a strong counter argument to everyone who was saying Arslan Ash is throwing matches to give Atif free wins. And I think this sends a good message for those people who care a lot about the competitive integrity of the Tekken World Tour. Now, as for the TGU, about time you see this video, we will be 1 day away from that event, and I hope it is a glorious event. For the last 4 years, it was dominated by Pakistan. Book won in 2018, Arslan won in 2019, Dawood won in 2022, Atif won in 2023, and the John won in 2024. Will the Pakistani players take it this year again, or will someone else come out on top? I will be watching. Hopefully I can stream it. We'll have to see if the timelines match up, but I still will try to document the matches as they happen. I know a lot of people's going to be traveling, a lot of people's going to be competing, putting everything on the line. When you talk about putting everything on the line, for those of you who know, Esports World Cup is the tournament that happens every year, and they give out $1 million to first place. That tournament was absolutely groundbreaking. The people that run that tournament announced that they are doing a separate tournament, which is the Esports Nation Cup. As it currently stands, you can see that the companies that are involved is EA, Tencent, Ubisoft, Chess.com, SNK, Moton, and Krafton. Tekken has not yet been confirmed to be a part of this event, but I'm sure with how popular Tekken is at the Esports World Cup, it will be confirmed Bandai Namco soon enough. But you know, we have a lot of time before we get to that point, so they're going to continuously slow announce these things leading up to that moment. Something that I think is important to note The Tekken developers said that they were delaying the balance until all major tournaments were done. Yes, the Tekken World Tour is ending with TGU, and then we have the finals way in, I believe, February. But I do want to highlight how we have the EMEA Tekken Cup 4. This will start 12/06/2025 and it will end 03/1/2026. So now when you talk about balancing being delayed, I don't know if they meant this as well. This is why I kind of took issue with their previous statement where they said all balancing will be done until the tournaments end, because we don't know what they're talking about. We don't know if they're just talking about the Tekken World Tour. We don't know if that now includes this thing that just got announced. We don't know if that means all the way in the finals. So in the meantime, we have this tournament to look forward to. You also got to keep in mind that the Game Awards is there. Some content creators like Maximilian believe there will be Tekken news there. So far, there's no confirmation of any of this. It's only hopes and dreams. And once we do get any type of news, you guys know I'll make a video and keep you guys updated. But that's it. Thank you for watching and bye-bye.